There's 24, 30, and 30. Giving you another short story today from our recent outreach experience, agent in Olympic pin trading evangelism in Paris, France. Today, I want to share with you the story about our bench. Um, Tony and I found a bench where we would spend our time sitting in the shade. It was a very hot day, and we would look to engage in gospel conversations with walk by. And this particular day, we got to meet several people, including these two young men from Italy. And by wearing my hat that you see in the picture there, if you're watching this online, it's covered with Olympic pins. I do that so that see the hat. Maybe they're curious about pins, and that might be enough for them to um, bridge the gap of the unknown and start talking to them. That's exactly what happened to these wonderful two. But we found that this bench in the shadow of the backside of the Eiffel Tower to be a great place to engage in gospel conversation that day. And literally, these were two of probably 12 to 15 gospel conversations we had just in hours that morning. Um, one of the very hot days. And like I said, we found this spot, like kind of a little walking path that was still accessible. Much of the Eiffel Tower was blocked off because the volleyball right there, and there was another venue in that area. There was a lot of the Eiffel Tower that was blocked off the first week. Visitors being very close. Unless there was one side you could up into the tower, but in the park next to it, mostly inaccessible. Accessible, the right word, inaccessible for those first week half of the. And so Tony and I, we found this the place Brandon and Destiny were else down the path, and we just found a great place to sit and enjoy the cool shade of the tree and engage in gospel conversations as they came up to us. Kind of get a chuckle about it because God, just what God does, shows up and he's like, um, we're not having access getting park like I thought we would. Maybe we won't have any opportunity. Still have opportunity every single day. And again, it was just a reminder to me of there is nothing like being at the 17th winter game. It is a truly unique atmosphere. And because of that, things like Olympic pins or even wearing your country's colors proudly can be bridges for conversations where in most day-to-day life in the West, America, we just kind of go about our lives. We're driving, like grocery shopping, paying bills, we're mowing the lawn, doing all those things. Most of the time, don't make space for the unexpected opportunity God has for us. And I would just submit to you that in the midst of hearing all these founders, these short stories, I pray that you will celebrate what God has done, Paris, the seeds of the opportunities had to. But I confess, one of my prayers is that God will prompt you, burden you to look for ways to be engaging in gospel conversation in your life. It may not be every day. I confess as a Christ follower, as a pastor, that boy, I really feel convicted that a week shouldn't pass where each and every one of us call ourselves followers really don't have an excuse not to have gospel. And sometimes, we'll feel ill-equipped or scared or don't have time, whatever else. But I think leading the Holy Spirit, very basic information of understanding be Christ follower. A lot of times we can be like the blind man who and was drilled over and over and over, threatened by Jesus healing Sabbath. His basic response was, "Look, here's what I know. I once was blind." That was the totality of his testimony at that point, and it was sufficient. Is what he was saying is, "Look, I don't know who Jesus is. I can tell you what he's done. You can question it, accuse everything else. Each of us is Christ followers, whether we're a Christ follower for a week, 3 decades, have testimony. Very least we can share that, but I believe we can share more than that. Easy to engage in gospel preaching that are truthful, that are honest, that are simple, that God has used for us during favorite of mine right now, circles, evangelism, because I think it really are. And so find a tool that helps you comfortably, authentically, uh, be praying, Holy Spirit, when the opportunity is present, take advantage of it. I once heard a pastor say, talking to students about preparing for the fall, you want to be on mission, you need to live differently, you need to pray for opportunity, and then you need to open your mouth. So this is my encouragement to you, my friends. I support down the ring, down in the. Let us be found faithful, currently praying and opening our mouths. Thanks again for joining us today. Just a reminder, we've got the Paris 24 outreach coming up September 29th at Concord. Working on live streaming it. We'll get those out if and when we confirm that. But if you, nothing else, if you can be in the room live with us that afternoon, we would love to have you. So then, till our next podcast of 30 and 30, God bless you.